Okay, back on the plot, second day in a row. I've got my helpers with me. They're not too keen to be filmed. One of them is having a look at the guttering, and I still have extra bits that just aren't matching up to be done. So that is gonna still be a no. I've been trying to get this guttering done for ages now, and it's just not happening. But at least the fruit cage is going to be built. So there'll be 3 of them on the fruit cage, building the fruit cage. So it shouldn't take so long. So once that has been semi-erected, I will see if I can show you. But for now, I've got to clear all of this stuff here for the fruit cage to go in here. So that is going to be the first thing I do. Okay, so the fruit cage is proving to be a lot more difficult because we don't have instructions because it was second hand. Trying to work the poles with just a picture isn't great. So there's currently 3 of us doing it right now. So we will see how much longer it takes to get it done. The fruit cage was proven to be an absolute nightmare. 4 of us in the end holding it whilst trying to hammer it in. So to be continued. I am here with my special guests, my garlic and my peas, which I soaked overnight. So they will be going in the allotment today. So the peas will go in, they will be covered, and come spring next year, uncovered, and hopefully that means I'll have some early peas. The peas are going to go in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a row all the way down there. So I'm going to add some compost to this area, dig out the weeds, add some compost to this area, and then pop a row of peas there. I'm not going to put any canes or anything like that in until there's enough growth, because the height of this bed, I want to take advantage of that and put a cover over it, and use that as to lift off of the peas, so when the peas start coming through they're not getting hounded by the cover. So that's where the peas are going, which leaves all this space empty here. But I'm just going to weed that over today. I'm not going to do anything else but weed it over. Okay, so I will be picking the Swiss chard today because it's got damage on some of the leaves, but you can see there how fantastic it absolutely looks. Every time I come here it just looks better and better. So the rhubarb bed, which last time I was here, went in, and that's looking good. Everything's taken well, nothing has died off. And then the overwintered bed, and then here we have got the onions. So these are the red onions, and as you can see they've really come through really well. I'm still having an issue in the ground with flea beetle, which I thought would be gone by now, so that's a bit of an issue still. So that is the mooly radish there, and then on this side is the layer of Swiss chard. So I will thin out the radish today. That definitely needs thinning out. And then on this side I have some of the garlic that's come through from last year, and some spare onions that I had that didn't fit in this bed. And since taking off the cover of this bed, because it had a white cover on it, since taking off the cover, the onions have really come through lovely now. So I must remember that for next year, just put netting over as opposed to a cover to get them growing. Any weeds in here that need looking at? No weeds, and the spinach has come through lovely. I'm not expecting the chamomile to come through until next year. So that is in here overwintering. So yeah, so that's the other onion bed. And I have just noticed, what is this? I have a pea, a random pea has decided to start to grow. That's fine, I will leave that. They're good for the soil. Now this is the area that I'm going to be working on today as well. So the fruit cage, I'm going to see how I'm going to do my layout. So this bed will move because that is going to have the strawberries in it, and that I think is going to be similar to where I had the strawberries this year, over in this corner here where the big mud patch is there. So I do need to do some digging out there. That's where the strawberries are going to go, because that's where I get a lot of sunshine. And then over here in this gap here, I will have another bed here where I will put the kiwi berry, and probably purchase another kiwi berry to go with it. That is my raspberry cane that has fallen over. So the raspberry cane, so as I come in, I show you, I'm walking through the door, and I will have the strawberry bed and the other raised bed here, and I will have a row of raspberry canes across here. So I have 4 in total. So the raspberry canes will go there, which will then leave me with all of this space here. I'm going to have to take the olive tree out because I think it's just going to be too big for in here. So I'm not sure where I'm going to put that. I might put it here, which will be the other side, the outside of the fruit cage. So that's where the, oh no, because I was going to put my beans there. I was going to do a couple of rows of beans there. So I'm not sure where that olive tree is going to go, but I have all this space here, which I haven't accounted for yet in the fruit cage. Okay, let's go and see how our aphid infestation is, and let's see if we've managed to salvage our brassicas. Okay, so let's check on the beets first, because these have been in quite a while. Yeah, the beets are starting to do really well, and I've actually got a couple of the kale coming through now, which I didn't have. So this one's definitely gone. Let's take away what's definitely not there anymore. And these two, there is still something here, but not great. This one's coming along nicely though. Okay, so I might still end up with 1 kale. Let's walk up here. I've got a couple more beets coming up here. The further along I go, the bigger they seem to get. That's lovely. So these beets were my 3rd sowing of beets. Oh, I've got some weeds in there. So those beets aren't doing too bad. Okay, and around the edges, I have popped the leeks. So you can see them all sticking up. All but I think 3 have survived. That's excellent. That's good. We should have some leeks next year. Okay, and whatever was there has clearly been eaten. What is that? Oh, that's a pine cone. Okay. So aphids, there's a little tiny bit of aphid damage, and that's this one's just, I think this one's too far gone. This kale's looking lovely. I might have a purple one. Yeah, there's nothing left in there. This one looks moldy. I don't know if you can see how poorly it looks. Let's just pop that the other way. Just weigh it down a little bit. Okay, this one is another purple one, but it's still got the stalk there, so I am going to leave it there. And this one's trying to come back to life. Some of these cabbages still look like they've got a little bit of an infestation. Yeah, they have. So I am going to spray these again, just so it doesn't spread. Okay, let's take a step back. Some are definitely faring better than others. I mean, this one looks lovely. Again, no, that one's okay. It's not great, but it's surviving. I just want to make sure nothing is being transferred. So I think that's, I'm sure this is the broccoli. So the broccoli seems to be aphid free. The kale definitely took the worst of it, and these cabbages took the worst of it. Oh, this kale looks lovely. Look at this one. Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, so I would definitely say, I mean, this kale looks beautiful. I would definitely say the kale, the purple one has done better, and these leeks look lovely. So what I did with the leeks is I made a hole really far down, dropped the leek in as a start, and left the hole completely uncovered for them to grow into the hole. Apparently that's how you get more white on your leeks. And last but not least, that little kale in there. Okay. So that is looking much better than the last time I arrived. 100% better, really. I can't lie. It just looks so much better. So I have this space here that I walk up and down, and that's what I'm thinking to put the garlic in, or at least one type of garlic in here. So I'm just going to have a look to see what would go better in here, hard neck or soft neck. Let me just show you the nasturtiums. They have gone wild. They have gone absolutely wild. I am going to get so many seeds from these. So many seeds. Let's just have a look at the front bed. So we just popped some seeds in some of these beds. As you can see, that's lavender with some spring seeds that are already coming up. Those ones haven't done too well, but we can add to these. They actually need pulling back a little bit, if I'm honest. So it's just trying to figure out where to start, really. I think I'm going to start with the peas. It's a nice, easy job. So I'm going to start with the peas. So I have the peas here, and this is the ones that I've got. I don't know if you can see them in that light. The early Doubts Provence. So October to March, harvest May to September. A classic French winter hardy variety, can be sown in autumn. In a prepared seed bed in flat drills, 15 centimetres wide, 5 centimetres deep. Protect early sowings with cloches. Sow in a zigzag pattern. Excellent. So I'm glad I brought that with me now. So let's get started. So in a zigzag pattern, let's take the gloves off, because I like to do sewing with my fingers. Gonna put 2 peas in together next to each other, that way they've got a better survival rate, and then I can just prick out anything that I need to. So I'm going to go around and do a second pea. Just in case one doesn't germinate, then it gives me a better guarantee. So I'm in the brassica bed, and in the brassica bed I'm going to plant the giant Russian garlic. Now I have noticed a couple of the cloves sprouting and a couple of them look a bit mouldy on the bottom. So I'm not expecting them to completely take, not all of them. So the reason why I went for Russian giant is because it can tolerate a lot colder temperatures. And with how hot the summer was, I'm kind of thinking it's going to be a really long, cold winter and early spring. So I'm hoping that's what will work. So there's mulch all down this side. So what I'm going to do is pull the mulch all the way back, which will reveal the soil. I'm then going to put some bloodfish and bone on that and then dig my holes for the garlic. So it will be 3 inches down and I will do 5 to 6 inches apart. So if you want a closer look at the garlic, so this is the Russian garlic here. If I pop it into my hand, if you saw my Halloween video of the elephant garlic, you'll see that this is definitely bigger than your average clove, but not as big as the elephant garlic. Oh, I see some lovely worms. Okay. So I'm literally just going to do 1 square at a time because I want the gaps in between where I can stand and tend to the crops. So I will do a square here, which leaves the back bit just behind you there free, that I can stand in there if I need to. And then where I'm stood right now, I will leave that mulch with nothing there, and then I'll do another square behind me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can fit 5 in this space. Okay, so let's pop. And I'm going to do them like a number 5 on a dice. Okay, so I've gone 3 inches down. I got a different bloodfish and bone this time. Don't ask me why. I can't remember why. I think it was on offer on Amazon. So I've got 1 for at home and 1 for here. Nothing wrong with the one I normally use, the Westland, but I actually quite like the soil, the compost that these guys provide. So I thought I would try something different. So these are more like pellets. So if I sprinkle some in, you can't see. Okay, so these are more like pellets rather than a fine dust. Because I find with the dust, when you're mixing it in the compost, sometimes what's happening is it's just going everywhere, and I want pellets to be in a certain area. When you dig your hole, make sure it's flat at the bottom. The reason why is because if you go in a cone shape, the bottom of your garlic is flat, so it leaves a gap underneath, and then it's really hard to root. It's got to go even further to be able to root. So prickly end down the bottom where the roots are coming through, down, spiky a bit at the top. Okay, now I'm just going to break up the soil around it, place that on the top, done. Okay, now shit, I'm panicking because there's a bumblebee in here. Stop panicking, Claire, it's near the entrance. So yeah, so I haven't got a full 20 of these ones. So what I'm going to do, leave the spares. So I've got 15 in the brassica bed. I'm going to leave the spares, see if I've got 20 the other, and then just plant them in and around other beds that I've already got things in them. That's the plan, because I want to do more polyculture in the allotment in the raised bed. So that will definitely help. Okay, I'm watching the bumblebee because I don't want to disturb him, but I need to get him out of here otherwise he's trapped. But I do need to put things into the ground to say I planted garlic there, so I will be back. So the next bulbs I'm putting in are the Red Duke. Now these are the ones I'm most concerned about. There are at least 2 really mouldy ones that I can see. Put them to one side. So yes, I'm not sure why they went mouldy. They were in a sealed bag. So let's have a count while we're here. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20. So there's 23 bulbs in here. So maybe they didn't have enough of the Russian giant, so they gave me extra. So I'm going to put them, I've decided finally, after much deliberation with myself, in the rhubarb bed. Again, going under the polyculture. Rhubarbs can get weevils and aphids and things like that. And because they're new plants for this year, going into the new season for next year, they are going to be prone to those pests. So I'm thinking, pop some garlic in here. Nothing else will be going in with the rhubarb except the garlic, and hopefully the scent of that will put off any of those creepy crawlies. Okay. So let's have a look at spacing. I think what I might do is add a little bit of compost to this one, although the rhubarb, when it went in, had some fresh compost on it. It's looking a little bit disheveled. It's not too bad. There's a bumblebee at my camera. I wonder if it's going to pass over the actual camera bit itself. Oh, it's liking my camera. I wonder if that's the one I saved from the brassica bed just now. No, it's gone. Okay. I hope you managed to see that. So the sunflowers were in here, and we had sorrel in here. No, we didn't. Sorrel was in that one. Sunflowers and cauliflowers during the season. We had some pumpkins that had grown over into this area. So it's had quite a few different things in here. So I think I'm going to add just a little bit more compost over the top, or I might just mulch it. It depends how I get on with digging down and seeing how easy it is to dig down. So the same concept with these garlic. I will go 3 inches down, and then I will do 5 inches apart. Oh, actually, I say that about putting extra soil in. Let me show you. So if you can see, there's actually still quite a lot of the compost underneath, and I've got a worm there as well. So I've got a bit of both in that soil, so I won't put extra in. Oh, that's actually lovely. The sunflowers have actually done this ground some good. I thought maybe because sunflowers, the roots are so big and the stalks are so thick, I thought maybe it wasn't going to look as good as it is, but it does. Okay, flat side down, pointy side up. Oh, no, nearly forgot. Let's put some bloodfish and bone pellets in first. Put the nutrition in the ground that way instead of putting the soil in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, make sure when you put the soil over the top, it's not clumps of soil, so the shoots can climb through. So because I only had 5, I actually put them all down one side. What you were seeing me do there is I was really desperately trying to get out the stalk from the baby corn. So it's completely died off in there now, but the stalk is really well rooted, so I'm going to have to come in from the other side. But I'm going to wait till the manures are finished first and then dig right down and pull it out. Okay, so it's time to get ready to go. I'm going to do just a little bit of tidying up, put the tools away. Oh, that was a magpie. Put away anything that I got out that doesn't need to be out. And then just before I leave, I'm just going to grab the Swiss chard, pop it into a carrier bag and take it home as it is. I'm actually going to pull the whole root up as well. The whole thing's coming out of the ground, and I'm flattening that ground to add another large bed to that ground. Okay, so I will do a little time lapse of me tidying up, and then I will show you the Swiss chard. I love a good time lapse. I decided at this point, because we were expecting rain that evening and it got really windy, to put a cover over the potatoes. So all the potatoes are in there looking fantastic, may I add. Putting them in there out of the wind and away from the foxes really have done them the world of good. So I placed a little bit of fine mesh over the top of the compost bin. Don't forget that there's no compost in this bin, it's an empty bay. Then I placed those pegs on top of the wood and the material, pulled it pretty tight so when it rained it wouldn't cause a puddle, and that's still on there now and it's still looking absolutely fantastic. Love my potatoes, can't wait for Christmas. Finishing off the Swiss chard, I used a saw. I didn't need to really, I could have probably just snapped it with my hands, but everything was sitting on top of the soil, the root was sitting on top of the soil, which is why I decided to take it out. And that's it from me for this video. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. It's completely free to subscribe. Hit a like button, a comment, a follow on whatever platform you're watching this on. I very much appreciate it, and thank you very much, and I will see you again very, very soon.